When I was in school in Ijebu, I was going to school one day in primary school, and I saw some people using theodolite, and they said they are surveyors. I was fascinated, and I said I want to be a surveyor. From the age of 13, 14, I wanted to be a surveyor. In secondary school, I wanted to be a surveyor. When I went to England, when I went to Germany, I got a scholarship to go and do building technology. I got to Germany, and well, of course, I didn't want to stay in Germany. One, the language, two, it was cold. Then the people who gave me scholarship, they were not forthcoming. So I decided to go to England. I went to England. My brother, he wanted me to stay in Germany, so I went to England. And okay, I then went to a school, Waltham Forest Technical School. And I went there and I said, I want to be a surveyor. They looked at mine and they said, which kind of surveyor? In Nigeria in those days, all we knew was land surveying. Whereas at that time, there were about 6 surveying: land surveying, quantity surveying, engineering surveying, quantity surveying, building surveying, aerial surveying, water surveying. They said, which one? I was looking at them because they then looked at me and they said, you should do quantity surveying. You are good in mathematics, you are good in engineering, you are good in this and that. So that's how I started quantity surveying. I realized quantity surveying then is more of everything to be a quantity surveyor. You must know building, you must know engineering, you must know architecture. So you have to be a master of all these things to be a quantity surveyor. So that's how I started. And at that time we knew, like I said, we knew nothing. What was concrete to us was concrete floor. We didn't know that there's a. So I had to study building construction, and I had to study so many things. It's very demanding. That's it.
So tell us a bit about the influence of your dad. Did he in any way shape you into what you became? Or?
Yes. My father was the first Alhaji in Ijebu. He was a man he was not well educated. He went to primary school and he didn't go to secondary school. But he was influenced by his mother because his mother was a Yoruba princess. She was very rich. She married, because she was a princess, she married a man who was quite well off in Ijebu as well. She was the first wife. She had 6 sets of twins. That's 12 children. All of them died except 2, except a boy and a girl, my father and her sister, and 1 child. That's 13 children. So this woman must have been traumatized. So she was very close to her son. And so she decided that this boy must be, So from the age of, the man had many other wives. So my grandmother and her son were very close. So she decided she was going to make this boy, if you have only 1 son survive and 2 girls. So at the age of, when the boy was about 8 or 9, the mother decided to build a house somewhere with this boy. So I reckon with my cousin, that by the time my father was 16, the mother married a wife for him. She married the first wife. They built a house and they had a store in one of them and they were living in the other wing. So he married the first wife, no children. He married the second wife, no children. When he married the third wife, the second wife had a child and the third wife had a child. The first wife didn't have a child up till now. So he then married the fourth wife. The fourth wife had a child. So the second wife, the third wife, and the fourth wife had children before the first wife had a child. So that environment make my grandmother and my father to love children. So they were very close. Nobody, even the sisters, the siblings, don't know what is between them. So in my father's house, every child was important. The guy went to Mecca in 1925. So when he came back, one of the wives he just married told him that his mother or father died and that he borrowed money from an Ijebu rich man to bury them. So my father thought, my mother was around, a very rich woman. You didn't take money from my mother. You borrowed money from me, from another Ijebu woman. So my father sent that woman packing. And where I'm going is this. In my father's house, every child is precious. So, my father never influenced us to do anything. We were a very happy family in my father's house. We were very, very happy because we had everything. Number one, it's a big house. Number two, food wasn't a problem. All the wives were very, they had bakeries. All my father's four wives then were bakers. So there was always food in the house. And our friends in Ijebu always come to our house because there's food. If your parents don't come to Duwali Alaji Kose's house, you have food. So my father never influenced us. He was a man who was always looking. I believe because of his mother's influence and because he was very little, he never influenced us. The only thing you do is one, you go to school. Number two, in the evening, you go to the Quran to Ileke. So he never influenced us.
And so, how did being an Ijebu person, how did it also shape your worldview about life? Do you have any impact? Because I know you are very proud Ijebu. You always talk about it. And I'm wondering, what are the basic principles, basic things that are values that shaped?
You see, the Ijebus are a peculiar people. One, you are made to respect elders. That's the first thing about the Ijebus. You are made to respect elders. Number two, you are made to appreciate that nǹkan wà láyé o. You are made to appreciate that. So you are conscious. Number three, and that consciousness affects a lot of things. For example, a lot of people think, most of them don't know your Muslim name, for example. When we were young, for example, because of my own background, you are told never disclose your full name to people. Because the first way to get you is wọ́n á kọ́kọ́ béèrè orúkọ ẹ̀, orúkọ ìyá ẹ̀, orúkọ bàbá ẹ̀. Tó bá ti mọ̀ yẹn, you are gone. So that's the first thing we learned. The second thing we learned as Ijebu is that don't get too close to people's wives. That's the second thing. Má súnmọ́ ìyàwó níyàwó, the easiest way to kill you. The third thing is to know ọmọ ẹni tó jẹ́. So don't mess around. Those are the things we knew as children in Ijebu. That's why in Ijebu,
how you feel at 80 living in the society that we're in today, how things have changed from how you used to know it, no more values, principles, and all of that. And I'm wondering, how do you cope with that reality?
Well, I just cope because I believe it doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't. I fear more for my children. for the younger ones because we've lost value. You know, as far as I'm concerned, um, I've had my bit. I've enjoyed it. I hope things get better. I pray so because we can't carry on like this. So I feel sorry for the younger ones. I feel sorry for them. But I believe we have to tidy up. We have to screw up some things. If we don't screw them up properly, we're going to be in a mess. We can't carry on like this. We can't carry on like this.